Good morning, YouTube. So today we are out for a little ride. This time we're going to head left. We're going to go to Bedfordshire. So there's a couple of things I'd like to see out there, which I'll talk about when we get there. But for today it's all about having a little bit of a ride out. Now, have you given me a space I can get into? Or just about, I think. There we go. That's cool. Go, my dude. Go, 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 go. There's an angle for you. Okay, so there's my fun. Yeah, so today heading out towards Bedford. We've got an extra camera or two on today, so let's see how this let's see how this video edits up afterwards. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to just enjoy the ride. If there's anything that I can think about, I will talk about it as we go along, of course. But for today, for the moment rather, I'm kind of going to hang on a little bit until we get a little bit closer to my final destination, providing that not everybody tries to overtake me, as they seem very, very keen to do. Yeah, so this is Hitchin. Hitchin is technically my hometown. Back in the day when there was actually a maternity hospital here, I think it's now quite possibly the grocery section of Tesco's or Sainsbury's. So, morning, mate. Nice. Yeah, so we're going to go see something a little bit different. I think you'll probably get to know this about me as time goes on, but I'm all about the landmarks. Hey, bud. Just eat. He's like, what? Why are you waving at me? Oh, don't go left on the push bike, dude. What are you doing? Wow, what an idiot. Jesus. So this is the I guess technically the second day of our mini heat wave. Well, I say mini heat wave, it looks like it's in for the rest of the week. Let's see. Oh, actually, right, here is. There we go. I'm just thinking about last week's video and really the continuation from that. So obviously that was the trip out to Snettersham, the stopover, but really that was more about getting a feel for the NC with the dog bones. Obviously side stand is now fitted as well, but yeah, I mean, it does feel so much better. I think I said it many times over, but it is firm. It is firm in a nice way. It doesn't. It's got rid of that sag, that softness, and it was interesting to read your comments, guys. You'll have to forgive me. Person who mentioned that they had 40mm lift 40mm dog bones. That was a surprise to me. I mean, I have seen them, but wow, that's gonna make, I would have thought, quite a lot of difference. I'm really interested to hear. I mean, a couple of people posted, a couple of people fed back about the dog bones and their experiences. But has anybody else fitted dog bones? Have you changed up your suspension? How did that all work out for you? Yeah, so yeah, very interested to hear your experiences of whether you've changed dog bones, or how have you found the rear suspension? I mean, generally speaking, I said in one of my posts that you know, Morsey in one of his interviews had spoken about how he'd found front and rear suspension very, very soft, and one of the first things he did was change it up for better rear shock and springs. Username Kate, same thing. So her experience of, I think she was reviewing the 2025, and she said the same thing. She said she found it wallowy. It was a section where she was giving it some beans down the country lanes, and in one spot in particular, I think it was a downhill stretch where it bottoms, and of course the bike's under a lot of load then, and she mentioned it there, and I found that very interesting as well, because, you know, as she says very often, I think she's a 5'4" individual. I can't imagine she's a very heavy girl, so if that's relatively light loading, excuse my terminology, standard, then what's the general feeling about the suspension on the NC? And I'd go as far as to say, what's your experience of that? If anybody has had older NCs moving up to newer NCs, we all know that there were changes in suspension travel, but did that make it worse as models got newer, or are newer models an improvement on it, on the older models? I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts are on that. Yeah, this is all bringing back memories for me. You know, heading off to Amptill left. We won't be, we'll be going straight on, but Amptill, Flitwick, it was where I did my CBT. You know, I was very lucky, or I consider myself lucky in comparison to what you guys are having to go through now in order to get your bike license. I mean, you know, from a point of training and safety, yeah, great, but it almost looks like it's too much. And genuinely, and I mean this, guys, kudos to you. If you are currently doing your motorcycle test, or have recently done your motorcycle test, and you've had to jump through all of the mod hoops, mad props to you guys. You know, that is a lot of effort. You know, it's weird for me at 55 Having those experiences where I've talked and spoken to biker generations before me, you know, and the stories I got was, yeah, well, we jumped on a bike and a guy stood with a clipboard, we disappeared for 10 minutes around the block, came back, and provided we were in one piece and was the bike, then we passed our tests. Excuse me. And you know, that story almost feels like it's repeating itself, where I can say, yeah, I did a CBT, which enabled my license for 2 years, my L plate, my learner license. I did a theory test, and then I took my practical, and that was it. So yeah, weirdly feels like, you know, history repeating itself to a degree. But again, you know, guys, if you've done it, if you've passed your test recently, if you've passed your test, amazing, well done. You guys that are going through it, stick at it, because I can only tell you how amazing motorcycling is. You know, there's nothing more that connects you you know, at the heart, at the soul. You know, this motorcycling is therapy. When you get beautiful days like this and it's just you, there's no other feeling like it. And you're just in touch with everything, in touch with the surroundings. You know, you'll ride along and you'll smell the hay and flowers and trees, and you go through villages and smell people, you know, you'd smell people. You'll go through the villages and you'll smell people cooking, making coffee, and you don't get that connection, you know. And then on top of that, you've got the motorcycle community, you know, and for the most part, people are good. You know, they will stop and help. You know, if you're broken down, they'll just chat. You know, it's the ultimate icebreaker. Having a bike, pulling up, having a bike, people just talk. You know, it's the common denominator of the motorcycle. So, yeah, if you're doing it, stick with it, guys. Really, really stick with it. It's worth it. It's so worth it. Tip, slight distraction. The whole sports mode standard thing. So in sports mode, the gear changes are speed linked. I'm absolutely convinced of it. Absolutely convinced of it. It makes sense if you think about it. But sitting here at a 60-mile-an-hour road, so 44, can I upshift? No, I can't. It won't let me upshift. Clicking a button, nothing. What I find is that when it's in standard, it's so keen to get up to 6, it's a bit too much. But the irony is that in sports mode, when you get up to 60, okay, we can shift now. It'll let me do 50. So right, at 60 mile an hour, so I'm at speed limit, I want 6th gear. I want to move it up into top because it's efficient. At the minute, I'm burning fuel and I'm stuck. And the only way I can do it, oh, there we go, it's like, yeah, it's like 61 or 62 mile an hour indicated. There's an argument, and again, if we're paying attention to GPS actual speed, so if I get that up to actual 60, 58, 59, 60, there you go, 66, it's about that 10% rule. It will shift, and it has shifted. But, you know, if you are uncomfortable, and that's genuinely correct and fine, of doing any other speed other than what you see on your speedo, this seems really odd. It almost feels like, Honda, if you're listening, it almost feels like 6th gear, you should have the ability to override it. And it's only 6. Every other gear I'm fine with. 6. Because I feel like if I'm sitting doing these national speed limits at 60, I want to be able to do that whilst being fuel efficient. And I can't do it if I'm adhering to the speedo. There you go. There's a thought. Random ramble, moan, whinge. No, it's not a whinge. Observation. There we go. That's better. Okay. I hear a pating, pating, pating in my ear, so it's telling me there's a speed camera, not a million miles away. So here's another question for you. How are you guys finding the weather? You know, it's here now. It's getting better and better. I mean, this weekend is insane. I mean, week. I mean, I don't think it gets below 26 degrees for the next 5 days, 6 days. Certainly in Hertfordshire. So yeah, how are you finding it? You know, are you getting out and enjoying it? Are you maybe dusting off the bike for the first time? Are you dusting off other bikes? There's the one. You know, you guys know that I have my classic VFR sitting in the garage, desperately waiting for, I don't know, 10th of June or something for it to click over to 40 so I can actually ride it without an MOT. But yeah, what are you currently up to? I'm intrigued. I'm interested. Ooh. Just looking at my sat nav, we are very, very close to destination. And once we get there, it will be very, very apparent. In fact, just over there, I think as we come around this corner, you will see what I've come to show you. Oh, there we go. So hopefully it hasn't changed too much around here and I can still get fairly close. Although the irony of it is our object of interest are very, very big. There we go. There you go, guys. How about that? So, those are the Cardington Airship hangars. Formerly part of, I believe, RAF Cardington. But they were where the original airships were built. So I think, if I remember rightly, the R101 was built here, and that's something else we'll go and have a look at. Now what I need to do is I need to find out how close I can actually get to this, because I can't remember. Let's see. Well, I see people with children. Whether that means this is open, I don't know, but these things are huge. Right, let me just open my visor. There's security here, so maybe we'll have a chat with security. I don't need to be this close, genuinely. I can probably park up at the side of the road. Gosh, look at these guys. Morning. So there we go. My God, look at these things. I mean, the sheer scale of them is insane. Tell you what, let's see if I can get a picture, because I think it warrants a picture. Right guys, we're in the shadow of Cardington hangars. I thought I'd have a quick chat about Dunlops, or more to the point, Dunlop Trail Max. Yeah, not impressed guys, not impressed. Let's just have a look at the mileometer. So, you know, 3,198 miles from new, and a quick look at these bad boys. They are on the wear limit. There's they're still meeting the in the sides. No Mickey taking about my my writing. I'll have you know, look, hardly any chicken strips. But yeah, centre of the tyre, that's generally where we live when we're riding around in normal everyday use. And they are done. They are done. So, I mean, I have heard, I think I mentioned it in the previous video, I've heard a lot of feedback about the Dunlops, and I think people generally say that they're not very good. I mean, they're a great tyre in terms of grip, you know, I mean, you can throw the bike around all over the place, but longevity, no. Same here, you can actually see that shadow is the step, that shadow just there. So even though there's a bit more meat on them, there's not much. You know, the wear indicator in the middle of the tyre is not far off there. But yeah, we're definitely starting to get a profile, guys. As I say, you can see it. So as I said, in the shadow of Cardington hangars, which is kind of cool in itself, we will be changing these tyres out. We won't be changing the tyres out while we're here, but the conversation about changing the tyres out. I've got Michelin Road 6s. That's what everybody is recommending that I get. So Michelin Road 6s is what I got. They were bloody expensive as well, but you know, I'm hearing big mileage on them. You know, and if I'm being honest about it, you know, if I can get 8,000 a year out of it, which is kind of the limitation of where I want to be on the bike per year ish, maybe, perhaps, we'll see, that may change. That would be okay. You know, ideally if I was changing them every year and a half, that would be even better. But you know, I'll take wins from where I can get it. So everybody's saying to me that they're long lasting, they're great tyres, they're road hold. So we're going to cover that. I've already had a chat with my local motorcycle shop, Raceways, and they've agreed that I can take the loose wheels in, and they will allow me to video the tyre changing process. So yeah, we can get a little bit of a video on that, see how that goes, and then what we'll do then is we'll go out for a ride. I'll give you some honest feedback about what I think of the tyres. But for now, we're going to head from here, just down the road, to something that is very relevant to Cardington hangars. See you in a minute, guys. Right, so farewell to Cardington hangars, and on to our next destination. So, as I alluded to when we first arrived, Cardington hangars are connected to, very closely, the R101. And if you don't know anything about the R101, it was our worst airship disaster. So it was on par with the Hindenburg, with the airship crashing, bursting into flames. You know, I think it was the hydrogen issue. Good morning, mate. And of course, I think aluminium skins as well. So once the thing actually started to burn, it burned, and the loss of life was catastrophic. So what I'd like to do, because we're not a million miles away from it, is there's a cemetery just up the road from here, and it's where the memorial for those that lost their lives at the R101 disaster. And it seems a poignant place to go and visit. So guys, we've arrived at the R101 memorial, so I thought we'd just spend a minute here. So I found it's very interesting, so to the entrance. It is my understanding, obviously, the nature of the crash and the horrific way that it went, that, you know, there was no recognising of anybody, so hence this one tomb for everybody. So actually, surprisingly, I was so caught up in Cardington Hangar, the Cardington hangars, and a little bit about the R101 and all that kind of thing, and the fact that it's a really impressive building. It's huge. Buildings, I should say, 2 of them. I neglected to mention that well, I thought it was the hangar on the right, but I may be wrong. I'm not. No, I don't. Oh, it was the hangar on the right. So the hangar on the right has been used for movie sets, movies. There's been a few shot through there, but the one, the one that is relevant to myself and poignant is Rogue One. And why Rogue One is relative is that, or relevant I should say, why Rogue One is relevant is that I actually was fortunate enough to spend some time working on it. I think I kind of said a few bits as we were riding out, that I'm a builder and a maker of things. Now, I must admit, these are hobbies, yeah? These building and the making of things that I do, they're not, it's not a job for me. It's, my job is something completely different. These are hobbies. But one of my hobbies was building droids, building Star Wars droids. And at the time I happened to have a couple of full-size R2 units, and without going into too much detail, I was fortunate enough to I need to go. I was fortunate enough to be asked along to work on Rogue One, and that is what I did. So I built and puppeteered some droids on Rogue One. Did a little bit on Force Awakens as well, but Rogue One is the one that always stuck with me. That was always my personal favourite. So yeah, there you go. Here's a couple of pictures of me doing things with droids. There you go. So some different links there, all surrounding those hangars at Cardington. I like these roads. These roads are nice. Well, actually, I'll rephrase that. The roads themselves are terrible. They're all lumpy and full of holes. But the journey on the road is really great. A really nice road. I see. I thought I was going to the motorway. I'm actually wondering if I'm going into Flitwick and that way now. Bedford. We go Bedford, apparently. Ooh, hello, mate. You look like you're in a hurry. Ah, Shefford, Hitchin, Hamptill. Ooh, now do I know where I am? I think I may do, you know. Yes, I do. Effectively done a full loop back. I know where we'll go. I think we might scoot back through Henlow and just have a slow drive by RAF Henlow, because that's kind of interesting too. Hey mate. So the other thing that I've done, virtually this entire ride, I've had my visor open as well, so it'll be interesting to see whether the sound quality is still okay. Kind of hoping it is. So there's a little bit of wind, but not much. So RAF Henlow, again, another one of these bases that I don't know whether it's still in existence as a base. And again, another one I'll have to look up. This is reminding me a lot of Water Beach. So yeah, so we'll go through Henlow. We'll go past the base itself. Go through the base. We'll go. Well, I say technically through the base. The road that goes through dissects two halves of the base. So, hey mate. So when we came into Henlow, we came from straight over from Hitchin. So we're going to go left here. Here we go. Oh well, it looks very, very much like it's an active base to me. So here you go. So the two sides, oh God, the two sides of it, on the right and the left. And there we go. What is that? Gloucester Meteor? Is it? Anybody? Somebody? Yeah, MOD Poppy. That's active. Awesome. So in what capacity I have no idea, but it is there. Oh, 20 zone, dude, slow down. Oh, hello policeman.